So these questionable connections between Russia and the Trump campaign, once again diverting attention from President Trump's growth agenda, including tax reform, health care, infrastructure. But this time it jolted the markets in a way it hadn't before. Let me bring in Fox News' Bret Baier, who's in the chair in D.C. Bret, you saw, and the markets tanked for a moment when that email chain came out. What's the chatter inside the Beltway on whether there are more email dumps to come and more Russia revelations to come?
Well, Liz, good afternoon. We don't know what's to come. What we do know is that this email thread has changed the dynamic. It is an email that essentially sets the table that what the White House aides and senior aides had been saying up until this point is not true, a lot of it, and it is showing that at least there was a willingness to go after and establish this relationship with someone who is in this email introduced as having ties to the Russian government. You know, there is pushback from the White House. There, I'm sure, will be pushback by Donald Trump Jr., who, by the way, is a guest on Hannity's show tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. But this does change the dynamic, and it does make some Republicans go wobbly on their forceful defense of the Trump campaign in this Russian investigation.
Well, yesterday, and I'm sure you noticed this too, Bret, I listened to a lot of different channels, including Fox, and a lot of people were saying this is a lot of, let's say, GOP, were saying this is a, quote, nothing burger. It was sort of the term of the day. Is it still a nothing burger? Is it still unimportant at this point? Because, and before you answer that, I want you to hear what Ed Rollins, a GOP operative who ran a political action campaign for Donald Trump and supports him, said just an hour ago. Listen to this and then comment.
Anytime the name Russia came up to me, I would say, thank you very much, no. Anytime someone said, I'm from China, I want to give you big money or big tips, I'd say, thank you, no.
In essence, he said, the New York Times is way ahead of this. Again, he is a Trump supporter. So I'm wondering if there's any erosion in that support base of GOP who yesterday were saying this didn't matter at all.
Yes, definitely. Now, we know definitively it's not a nothing burger. It is some kind of meal. We don't know how complete that meal is, and we don't know where it goes from here. But we know that it is much more substantive than it was just a day ago. It clearly is different than what Donald Trump Jr. originally described. Originally, he said he didn't meet with any Russians. Then he said he didn't meet with any in a set meeting. And now there's not only a set meeting, but a set meeting talking about meeting with someone who, at the behest of the Russian government, wants to support Donald Trump. This is a different kettle of fish here, Liz, and I think it opens the door to different things. There will be pushback. And what the Republicans on Capitol Hill are most worried about, frankly, is the substance of the agenda that is in peril right now. And now you have this August recess that is being pushed back, and the question is, can they get things across the finish line in this very volatile environment?
Natalia Vasilnikoska, she is the Russian attorney. And you look at this connection, and before Donald Trump Jr. even met with her, she had said she had official documents and information about HRC, Hillary Rodham Clinton, as part of Russia and the government's support of Donald Trump. And for people to try and blow this off, let me just reverse it. That's like Hillary Rodham Clinton trying to say that it didn't matter at all that she used BleachBit to purge more than 30,000 emails from her server. Republicans flipped out, as right they should, you know, as well they should. You know, how do we look through all of this hypocrisy and figure out what's really going on, Bret? Because it is now affecting people's money.
Yeah, and I think that we have to wait, and there has to be patience. I mean, you're still in a place where hyperventilating about stories doesn't help the process, but this obviously gives it more oxygen, and it gives this story many more legs. Now, the lawyer, was on the Today Show this morning, said she was not tied to the Kremlin directly. She said that she did not have any information about Hillary Clinton, but you know, that's what she told them. The email setting up the meeting said something different.
Bret, thank you very much.